I'm going to be real with you. Right now, I make more money in a month than I used to make in a year. I've got clients, a team, a clean apartment in downtown, and yeah, people think I've always had my life together. But that's not even close to the truth. A couple years ago, I was broke, like actually broke. I'm talking $3.27 in my bank account, eating instant noodles for dinner, dodging calls from unknown numbers because I knew it was debt collectors. I was 24, working a dead-end job at a random retail store, making barely enough to survive. And the worst part? Everyone around me looked like they were winning. You ever scroll through Instagram at 2 a.m. and feel like you're the only one messing up your life? Yeah, that was me. Every single night. People my age were entrepreneurs, digital marketers, freelancers. Meanwhile, I was folding clothes for $12 an hour, pretending I didn't hate my life. And one night, I don't even know what snapped in me, but I just thought, what if I just lied? Not like some huge scam or anything, just small stuff. Like instead of saying I work retail, I'd say I'm in marketing. Instead of saying I'm broke, I'd say I'm building something. It felt stupid at first, but also weirdly exciting. Like I was finally in control of how people saw me. So the next day, I tried it. A friend asked me what I was doing these days, and without even thinking, I said, I've been doing some freelance marketing stuff online. There was a pause. I swear my heart was pounding like crazy. But then he goes, oh, that's dope, bro. That's it. No questions, no suspicion, nothing. He just believed me. And right there, something clicked. Because for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like a loser. I felt like I could be that guy. I went home that night, opened my laptop, the same old, slow, barely working laptop, and just stared at the screen, thinking, okay, if I'm going to lie about this, I better figure out how to make it real. I had no skills, no plan, no clue what freelance marketing even really meant. But I had one thing now, something I didn't have before. Pressure. Because now people expected something from me, and I couldn't go back. Not anymore. So now I had a problem. I told people I was doing freelance marketing, but I had zero idea what that even meant. Like none. I went home, opened YouTube, and typed, how to make money online. Yeah, I know, basic. But that search, it changed everything. I fell into this rabbit hole of videos, drop shipping, social media marketing, copywriting, all that stuff. People talking about making 5K, 10K a month like it was normal. At first, I didn't believe any of it. But then I remembered. People already believed me, and I was literally making nothing. So I thought, if they can fake it, why can't I at least try? That same week, I updated my Instagram bio. Digital marketing, helping brands grow. I didn't have a single client, not one, but it looked legit. Then I started posting quotes, fake work setups, random screenshots I found online, even edited some numbers in Canva to make it seem like I was running ads. Yeah, I know how that sounds. But here's the crazy part. People started taking me seriously. Friends were liking my posts. Some random people followed me. A couple of them even DM'd me like, yo, bro, do you work with clients? I remember staring at that message for like 10 minutes. Because now it wasn't just a lie anymore. This was an opportunity. So I replied, yeah, I do. What do you need help with? My hands were literally shaking. The guy says he has a small clothing brand and wants more sales. And I'm thinking, bro, I don't even know how to help myself. But instead of backing out, I doubled down. I told him I could help grow his Instagram and run ads. He asked for the price. I had no idea what to say, so I just threw a number, $300 for the month. There was a pause. Then he said, bet. Just like that. No contract, no questions. He sent the money. I sat there in silence after that. Like, what just happened? I just got paid for something I didn't even know how to do. And that's when it hit me. This lie, it was getting dangerous, because now there were expectations, real ones. This wasn't just me trying to look cool anymore. Someone trusted me with their money.
and I had two options: refund it and admit I'm a fraud, or figure it out no matter what it takes. I think you already know which one I chose. That night, I didn't sleep. I watched tutorials for hours: how to run Facebook ads, how to grow Instagram pages, how to write captions that convert. I was taking notes like my life depended on it, because honestly, it kind of did. And the next morning, I officially became something I never was before: someone with a client, even if it all started with a lie.
That first week, straight chaos. I had this guy's $300, a clothing brand I barely understood, and absolutely no clue what I was doing. But I couldn't let him see that. So I did what any desperate beginner would do. I over-delivered on confidence and understood almost nothing. I texted him like I'd done this 100 times. All right, I'm going to audit your page and set up a growth strategy. Bro, I didn't even know what an audit really was. I just heard someone say it in a YouTube video. So I opened his Instagram page and started analyzing it like I was some expert. Engagement? Low. Posts? Kinda mid. Branding? All over the place. At least that's what I thought. In reality, I was guessing. But I turned those guesses into a clean-looking PDF, added some charts, used big words like conversion optimization, audience targeting, content funnel. I made it look legit, and when I sent it, he replied, "Damn, bro, this is actually really good." I leaned back in my chair like, no way this is working. But then came the hard part. He said, "So what's next?" That question, yeah, that one almost exposed me, because now I had to actually get results, not just talk. I told him we'd start with content and ads. Problem is, I had never run a single ad in my life, not one. So I opened Facebook Ads Manager for the first time, and it felt like I was trying to fly a plane with zero training. Buttons everywhere, settings I didn't understand, words I'd never seen before. Budget, CPM, CTR. I was like, man, I might be screwed. But I kept going. I set up a campaign based on what I thought made sense. Picked a random audience, wrote a basic caption, used one of his photos, hit publish, and just sat there staring at the screen. Day 1, nothing. 0 sales. Day 2, still nothing. Day 3, he texted me, "Hey bro, any updates?" My stomach dropped, because now the pressure was real. I checked the ad account, money was being spent, but no results. I could feel it slipping. The lie, the image, everything. This was the moment where it usually falls apart, where people get exposed, where they disappear and pretend it never happened. And honestly, I thought about it. Refunding him, blocking him, going back to my old life. At least it was safe. But then I looked at my bank account again. Still almost empty. Still the same situation I was trying to escape. And I realized something. If I quit now, I go right back to being that guy, the one I was trying so hard not to be. So instead of quitting, I did something different. I messaged him, "Give me 48 hours. I'm gonna fix this," even though I had no idea how. That night, no sleep. Again, I went deeper than ever before. Forums, old videos, case studies, Reddit threads. I wasn't casually learning anymore. I was obsessed. Because now it wasn't about money. It was about not failing, not going back. And somewhere around 4:30 a.m., after hours of testing, reading, adjusting, I found something. A small tweak. Different audience, better offer, cleaner ad. It didn't look like much, but it felt right. I relaunched the campaign, closed my laptop, and for the first time in days, I just sat there in silence, thinking, this either works or I'm done.
I woke up late that day. Not because I wanted to, but because my body just shut down. I grabbed my phone, still half asleep, and opened the ad account. Didn't expect much. Honestly, I was preparing for the worst. Then I saw it. 1 sale. I blinked, refreshed the page. Still there. 1 sale. It wasn't even a lot of money, like $28 or something. But that didn't matter, because to me, That was proof. Something I did actually worked. I sat up real quick, heart racing. Then I refreshed again. 2 sales. Now I'm fully awake. I jumped out of bed, opened my laptop, hands shaking again, but this time it felt different. Ad spend, running. Clicks, coming in. Conversions, small, but real. This wasn't luck. This was progress. A couple hours later, he texted me. "Yo, bro, I just got my first sales from the ads. That's you?" I stared at that message, smiling like an idiot, because for the first time, I didn't have to fake anything. So I replied, "Told you, we're just getting started." That moment, that changed me. Because now I wasn't just pretending anymore. I had evidence. And confidence hits different when it's backed by results. Over the next few days, I went all in, testing new ads, trying different creatives, learning faster than I ever had before. And the numbers kept going up. 3 sales, 5 sales, 10 sales. Nothing crazy yet, but enough to build momentum. By the end of the month, that $300 client turned into a couple thousand in revenue for him. And he was hyped, like really hyped. He called me one night and said, "Bro, I don't know what you're doing, but this is working. We need to scale this." Scale. That word hit different. Because a few weeks ago, I didn't even know how to run one ad. And now we're talking about scaling? But here's where it got interesting. He asked me something I wasn't ready for. "Do you know anyone else who does this? I got a friend who needs help too." I paused, because this was bigger than just one client now. This was a door opening, and I had a choice again. Tell the truth or step fully into the role I created. So I said, "Yeah, I can take him too." Even though I had no system, no team, still figuring things out day by day. But this time, it didn't feel like a lie. It felt like I was growing into it. Within a week, I had my second client, then a third. Not huge money yet, but way more than I'd ever made before. And slowly, that broke, insecure guy, he started fading. But just when things finally felt like they were working, that's when everything almost fell apart again.
At this point, things were moving fast. Too fast. I had 3 clients, money finally coming in, confidence going up. From the outside, it looked like I knew exactly what I was doing. But behind the scenes, I was barely holding it together. Every client had different expectations, different brands, different problems, different messages like, "Hey bro, can we increase conversions? Why did sales drop today? Can you send a full report?" And I'm sitting there like, man, I just learned this last week. I was juggling everything alone. No systems, no structure, just pure hustle and YouTube tutorials. Sleeping 3 to 4 hours a night, living off caffeine and stress. And then it happened. One of my clients, the second guy, messaged me. "Hey, can you jump on a quick Zoom call?" My heart dropped instantly. Because up until that point, I avoided calls. Everything was text. Gave me time to think, time to Google stuff, time to not sound like an idiot. But a live call? No hiding there. I thought about making an excuse. Busy right now. Bad connection. Let's do it later. But something told me, if I keep avoiding this, it's over anyway. So I said, yeah, send the link. Worst decision of my life. Or the best one. I joined the call, camera on, and there he was, confident, serious, asking real questions, not beginner stuff, real business questions. He goes, "So walk me through your strategy again, like in detail." My mind went blank, like completely blank. This was it, the moment where everything falls apart, where he realizes I don't actually know what I'm doing, where the lie catches up. There was a solid 3-second silence. Felt like 3 hours. And then I said something. I didn't plan, didn't prepare, but it changed everything. I said, "Honestly, I'm still testing a lot right now. I don't use some fixed strategy like most agencies. I move fast, see what works, and double down. That's why you're seeing results already. Another pause. He looked at me, thinking. Then he nodded. Yeah, that actually makes sense. I couldn't believe it. I thought he was going to expose me. Instead, he trusted me more. And that's when I realized something huge. People don't expect perfection. They expect confidence. After that call, everything shifted. I stopped trying to sound like an expert and started leaning into being someone who figures things out fast. But even with that, there was still one problem, a big one. I was maxed out. Too many clients, too much pressure, no time. And I knew if I didn't fix that soon, everything I built was going to collapse.
After that near disaster on the Zoom call, something clicked. I realized I couldn't do this all alone. Too many clients, too many platforms, too many campaigns. And if I kept running at the speed I was, I'd burn out in a month. So I did something scary. I hired my first person. Not a fancy agency, not a seasoned pro, just a college kid I met online who needed a side hustle. I showed him the basics, gave him access to ads, told him to monitor performance and flag me when something looked off. It was terrifying at first. I kept checking his work every 30 minutes like a paranoid parent. But slowly, it worked. With him handling the day-to-day stuff, I could finally step back and think bigger. I started looking for more clients, real clients this time, businesses who actually had revenue and wanted growth, not tiny side projects. I pitched, hustled, and got lucky. By month 3, I had 10 clients. Revenue, $12K per month. And here's the wild part. I actually enjoyed it. Because now I was doing more than surviving. I was building. I was leading. I was growing a real business, all from the tiny lie I told months ago. I even started posting more on social media, honestly this time. I shared wins, shared lessons, shared failures. People started following, reaching out, asking for tips. I became, weirdly, a go-to guy in this small marketing space. Then came the first big breakthrough. One client, a startup selling fitness gear, hit $50,000 in sales in a single month thanks to a campaign I ran. I remember staring at that dashboard, mouth wide open. $50,000 from one client in 1 month. I couldn't stop laughing because a year ago, I had $3.27 in my bank account. That's when I realized I wasn't just lucky. I had learned, I had grown, I had actually become the person I pretended to be. And with the money came freedom. I hired a second team member, a third. I moved into a bigger apartment, one with a view, a real office corner, my own desk. Suddenly, the life I faked online, it wasn't fake anymore. But here's the thing about scaling. More money, more clients, more freedom means more responsibility, more mistakes that could cost you everything. And just when I thought I had it figured out, something happened that almost ruined it all again.
So here's where it all comes together. I was sitting in my new apartment, the one with the big window overlooking the city, scrolling through messages from clients, when it hit me. I wasn't pretending anymore. Every client, every campaign, every late-night grind, it had built something real. I started thinking back to the very beginning. $3.27 in my bank account. Instant noodles for dinner. Scrolling Instagram at 2 a.m., thinking everyone else had their life together. And now, I was running a small agency, multiple clients bringing in solid revenue, a team I could trust, freedom to actually plan my day instead of just surviving. But here's the real kicker. I realized the lie, the thing I was ashamed of, was actually the spark I needed. Without it, I might never have pushed myself that hard. Without pretending to be someone I wasn't, I wouldn't have taken the first risky steps. Without the pressure of expectations, I probably would have stayed stuck, folding clothes and dreaming. Some people might call it fake it till you make it. And yeah, that's what it was.
but I like to call it creating your own path. Because the moment I started acting like the person I wanted to be, I became that person. Now, I travel, I invest, I teach others, I still hustle, but it's on my terms. I'm not rich by Silicon Valley standards, not yet, but I've got something better. Control over my life, confidence in my skills, and the proof that I can build from literally nothing. And the moral? Life doesn't hand you success. You create it. Sometimes it starts with a tiny lie. Sometimes it starts with one bold step. And sometimes it just starts with saying, I can do this, even if I don't know how yet. Now, when I look back, I smile. Because that scared, broke, desperate 24-year-old, he's finally me. And the crazy part? I'd do it all over again.
Before you go, hit that like button and subscribe for more unbelievable stories just like this one. See you in the next story.